Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true. I'll go first.
I've only ever told like 5 people in real life about this story because it sounds made up, right? I'm posting on this account because I have like no one on here. I'm not going to post it on my main account because I know that I sound like I am making it up. But here's what happened. So, and excuse how I look. I've literally just woken up. Anyway, taking you back many years to when I was about 9 or 10 years old, last stage of primary school, old enough to sort of know what's going on to a certain extent. And to set the scene, there are, say, about 30 kids in this class, this classroom. We have shared desks, so like long desks, like 5 kids on each desk, like this. So you have like, say, I don't know, 5 or 6 rows, 5 kids along each. So you are sharing a desk. However, we each have our own pull-out trays. So the trays that have, like your workbooks and stuff in. No one can get in or out of the tray unless I move, because obviously you're sat pressed against the tray. So even if I want to get in, I have to scoot my chair back, pull my desk out, take what I need, scoot back in. No one can get in the sides. It's like paper thin. You could potentially slot something in, like a bit of paper, but you wouldn't be able to get your fingers in to pull things out. This is important to the story. And on the desk, we have like a box of crayons and pencils and just various different bits like that, for the whole desk to share. Now, the way this started, I'm going to speak quicker because I'm running out of time. The way this started was really random. I didn't think anything of it. Basically, we had loads of coloured pens. People would keep going to get the pens, which I was sat right in front of, and they would go to get a random colour and they would like be only pink pens or only a certain colour. And people were like, why do you keep giving away all of our different coloured pens? I was like, I didn't. Not really that important, but it was just weird. It just kept happening. Like one minute I would look and there would be like loads of different colours in there, and then someone else would go to grab them and there would only be, say, like I said, like pink pens in there. I just thought it was random. I just thought maybe someone was just stealing the coloured pencils, honestly. But that's kind of where it started because I kept getting in trouble for that. Now, I was a really good kid, really quiet, not the sort of thing I would do. Anyway, fast forward a couple of days. I open my tray one day. There is a note in there that says, hi. I think one of my friends either side has just written hi, slid it in my tray. I did ask everyone. They were like, no, it wasn't me. But you know what kids are like. I was like, it's obviously one of them. Didn't think anything of it, but for some reason I did write back on the same piece of paper. So this is always one A4 piece of paper, just to be clear. So no one's sliding it in, like sliding paper in my tray. They would have to physically open it to reply. So I reply something like, hi. I close my tray, think nothing of it, do my work. I go to open the tray at the end of the lesson to, put my stuff back in. There is a response, it just says, how are you? And I think that's really weird. And no one's been in my tray, like 100%. I haven't moved. No one could. I reply again, back and forth. So now we're going back and forth. I'm replying, I'm good, you, like a kid would. I'm closing my tray. I'm opening it a couple of minutes later. There is a reply every single time on this same A4 piece of paper. Like, I can't make an excuse for that. I don't know how. Anyway, this goes on for a couple of days. I'm not worried. I'm not scared. I think it's a fairy because I'm a child, and I'm like, oh, it's a fairy. I don't know. My mum is like a really spiritual person. My dad isn't. I'm probably somewhere firmly in the middle. But again, I'm a kid, so I'm replying. And then it all changed when one day. So I was also getting in trouble from the teacher for stealing paper. I wasn't doing that either. But it just kept going missing and apparently appearing under my chair. So I was getting like this fairy that I thought it was getting me in trouble. So I was getting a bit stressed and getting a bit upset because, like I said, I was a really good kid and I didn't like getting told off. So I was writing to it saying, can you stop stealing the pens? Can you stop stealing the paper? Yada, yada, yada. They reply saying, guess who I am? I reply saying, I think you're a fairy because I'm, again, whatever. They respond, and I remember this because I remember just having a really bad feeling and my like heart dropping into my stomach. They reply saying, take a wild guess. Still makes me feel sick saying that, and it's been many years. I reply saying, oh, I don't know. Then, they reply saying, I'm the devil. Now, I'm sure if the devil is real, he's probably got better things to be doing. So even if it was a ghost, it was probably just a ghost like playing tricks on me or something. But anyway, again, I'm a kid. I now believe this. I'm like, it's the devil. I start crying, freaking out. I run up to the teacher. I'm like, someone's writing notes to me, crying, crying, crying. Teacher walks over, opens my desk. There is absolutely nothing in there. That's not to say someone couldn't have taken it out, because I did have to walk away from the desk, but they would have had to be quick. Anyway, I go home and tell my mum. Nothing happens for a couple of days. Nothing. The notes stop. Nothing happens. No one believes me. My mum kind of does, but no one else does. Like my friends around me, my teacher, not at all. Anyway, couple of days pass. I'm out playing in the playgrounds at lunchtime, something like that. I run in to go to the bathroom. It's about a 5-minute walk. It is quite far away. I use the bathroom, and as I'm about to leave, I see just like a square of toilet paper with my name written on it. To me, at the time, it looked like blood. It was in red and it was like splattered. It could have been felt tip. Like, I'm willing to say that. Anyway, I get it. I grab it, I scrunch it up in my hand, and I run outside because I want to show these girls that, my best friends at the time, like, I'm not crazy. Look, I have proof that something is like weird. All I remember is I open my hands. This piece of toilet paper is there and it is blank. There is nothing on it. I got really upset and I started crying and stuff like that. And I was just really, really upset at the time. Anyway, I told my mum, and I'm freaking out and said I'm not going to school anymore. My mum took me to a psychic fair that weekend, and all I vaguely remember is being like laid down, and this woman was like, I felt like she was sprinkling sand on me, but apparently she wasn't. She was asking me to like imagine there's a bubble of protection, doing all these things, and I'm doing them, but I'm kind of a kid thinking, And anyway, there is no conclusion. It never happened again. I have no proof. It never happened again. And my mum and probably my husband, because I do not deviate from this story and I don't just randomly make things up, probably the only two people that actually believe me. But I have no reason to lie.